Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And welcome to Keep Her Quick, your latest local news and weather, commercial free in 15 minutes or less. We're going to jump right over to weather, though, because there's really not a whole lot on the docket right now. We have those nice, lovely temperatures today, but that warm-up coming up on next week is what we're really looking at.
Yeah, so many people are talking about that big-time warm-up coming for next week, but even then, it's going to kind of be appropriate when we talk about upper 90s to low 100s. The end of June and start of July is kind of prime time for those temperatures, and that is when we are going to be subject to those sizzling daytime highs. But before we get there, today is going to be a rather pleasant day of weather with blue skies and high temperatures ranging anywhere from the low to mid 80s. As we do go into the weekend, temperatures are going to start warming up as we keep the sunny skies, and then triple-digit heat is on the way for next week. Now, I do want to note that it was 4 years ago today, June 27, 2021, that we set the all-time high temperature record in the Tri-Cities when we reached 115 degrees. And then for Yakima, Walla Walla, Ellensburg, and Pendleton, we set all-time high records on June 29th. Now, we are going to be nowhere near those all-time high temperature records, but again, that warming trend is coming. We will talk about what days will be the warmest in our forecast straight ahead.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Kittitas County. An Ellensburg woman is now waiting to find out what her punishment is after admitting to taking thousands of dollars from the state's food assistance program. Glenna Lynn Longenecker pled guilty to six criminal counts of first-degree theft by fraud in Kittitas County Superior Court. Investigators say Longenecker had received food and medical assistance from the Department of Health and Social Services since 2002, as well as food assistance benefits from February 2014 through February 2024. During that time, she claimed her husband did not live with her during eligibility reviews, though it was later determined they lived and worked together. Officials claim she did not accurately report her household income as well, leading to assistance she was not entitled to. According to court documents, the amount overpaid totaled $25,000. Longenecker is set to be sentenced on August 21st. A Walla Walla man accused of suspicious and inappropriate behavior toward young women is now in jail. Walla Walla police say they arrested the 23-year-old man. The man was arrested in Yakima, yesterday after recent reports he followed and harassed a woman and her friend at a restaurant. They say after the woman left the restaurant, one of them received repeated phone calls with disturbing messages from an unknown number that included photos and a video of the 23-year-old engaged in a lewd act. Police say this is a familiar pattern where someone will approach young women, ask to borrow their phone, and then the person will call their own number so that they have the victim's contact info to save. If you have any information about this man, contact Walla Walla Police. Law enforcement officers want you to know about a texting scam going around. You or someone you may know may have been targeted, getting text messages saying they have an outstanding ticket balance and they'll face consequences if you don't pay it. We spoke to Benton County Sheriff's deputies about this scam and what they want you to be aware of.
Most of the scams are not local people, and so when we get these scams, they kind of impact the area, and they'll impact it, whether it's somebody calling and claiming that they are from the sheriff's office, or somebody from the sheriff's office, or that you have warrants, or in this case it's Washington DOL. And if they're claiming that we don't want people to pay and freak out.
Lieutenant Clark also says if you have any questions or concerns about a text like this, to contact your local law enforcement agency before you respond and end up paying. Meanwhile, the Washington State Gambling Commission wants to let you know they're seeing an uptick in a scam they first alerted the public about in 2022. In this scam, a woman claims to be a Gambling Commission employee who contacts people saying they've won a substantial cash prize from Publishers Clearinghouse. She says she needs personal information for the prize to be awarded. But again, it's a scam. No one from the Gambling Commission would ever contact you saying you've won a prize or ask for personal or financial information. If you get one of those calls, just hang up. And many people in the Tri-Cities were relieved when construction on the Blue Bridge was finally completed. But now lane closures are back. That's because on Wednesday, a truck hit the bottom of the Sylvester Street overpass in Pasco, damaging girders and cables that need urgent repairs. Luckily, the Department of Transportation tells us this is something they're prepared to handle.
We have a dedicated bridge team that is on call 24/7. And so whenever something like this happens, they are called on immediately. They're sent out. They did have to close a lane, obviously, yesterday to do that inspection to make sure everything was okay.
Now, the closure, which impacts the northbound lanes, should be gone by the end of this afternoon. The driver who hit the bridge, though, drove away from the scene, was later caught by troopers, and is now being held accountable. And with that, let's jump right over to meteorologist Jefferson Donovan to talk the weather. Jefferson, for folks that are going to be traveling on that area this morning on their morning commute, seeing a little bit of a slowdown. Fortunately, it's not too hot.
Yes.
For that to be stuck in traffic, at least.
Not hot just yet, but this afternoon is going to be pretty warm if you do find yourself in a vehicle, and then this weekend is going to be turning very hot. Let's take a look at what you can expect on this Friday. High temperatures around the forecast area will primarily be climbing into the mid-80s for the Tri-Cities. Through the Yakima Valley today, we will be looking at low to mid-80s for daytime highs, and then in the Kittitas Valley, we will be a bit cooler with mid to upper 70s. Blue Mountain foothill communities will find themselves in the low to mid-80s this afternoon as absolutely everybody does see sunshine overhead. Now, today is going to be a day that is similar to what we did see on Wednesday and Thursday, and that is to say region-wide breezy winds are in the forecast. For the Tri-Cities and Walla Walla, we could see winds today gusting as high as 25 miles per hour. Gusts could reach 30 miles per hour in Pendleton with 40 mile per hour winds today, 40 mile per hour gusts, I should say, through the Kittitas Valley. If we do see 40 mile per hour wind gusts in Ellensburg today, it will be the third day in a row with winds of that magnitude. Now on Saturday, most of the region will be looking at light winds, but we will still be pretty blustery through the Kittitas Valley. By Sunday, everyone will see light winds, including the Kittitas Valley. Now let's take a look at what's to come. This is the upper air model of the Storm Tracker Futurecast through the weekend. You'll notice this kind of bubble shape forming over the Pacific Northwest, and by the start of next week, we will be right under the axis of this feature. This is known as a ridge. And when we talk about ridges this time of year, ridges are what bring high heat in the summertime. So let's talk about the temperatures as we go through the weekend and into the start of next week. On Saturday, most of us will see daytime highs warming all the way into the mid to upper 80s under sunny skies. Sunday will bring low to mid 90s, and then by the time we get to Monday, temperatures will turn downright hot with upper 90s to low 100s throughout eastern Washington and northeast Oregon. We will hold on to this very high heat through Tuesday before a modest cool down towards the middle to end of next week, but do just be prepared for the upcoming upper 90s to low 100s again in the very near future. Right now, though, I'm going to throw it back to Dave.
Thanks, Jefferson. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson making an appearance in the Tri-Cities yesterday, rallying with healthcare providers to discuss potential cuts to Medicaid. The visit comes as the U.S. Senate is expected to vote on the GOP-led budget bill any day now. KEPR's Alan Lester picks up the story from there.
Flanked by members of the community and healthcare leaders at the Regency Canyon Lakes Rehabilitation Center in Kennewick, Democratic Governor Bob Ferguson didn't mince words about the stakes surrounding potential Medicaid cuts.
As many as 200,000 Washingtonians on Medicaid will lose their health coverage in the first year if these budgets are adopted.
The governor highlighting that children across the region would see some of the biggest ramifications if any of the $13 billion in federal funding of Medicaid is axed.
Here in central Washington, approximately 70% of all children are on Medicaid. In Benton County, it's about 55% of kids are on Medicaid. In Yakima County, approximately 80% of kids are on Medicaid.
And while local health leaders discussed what's at risk,
for many of our residents, Medicaid plays a vital role in making that care accessible. The reality is that any cut to Medicaid funding doesn't just affect one line of care, it has ripple effects throughout our facility.
community members voiced their emotions on the matter as well.
Our communities need it. Without Medicaid, nobody will have the care they need.
The only reason we get to sleep at all is because Medicaid has provided the durable medical equipment and supplies needed to support her.
Governor Ferguson also taking a moment to call out Congressman Dan Newhouse, who voted yes on the House version budget bill, advocating he listen to his constituents while also suggesting to facilitate a meeting between the two elected leaders.
I would encourage him to sit down with these individuals here in his district and meet with them face to face, maybe dig a little deeper into the community and the impacts that are happening here. I mean, it's only people's lives that are being impacted by these decisions.
Although a Senate vote on the budget bill is expected any day now, the Senate parliamentarian on Thursday struck down the current writings of Medicaid provisions, a ruling that could prove to be a major blow in any cuts to the social program. Reporting in Kennewick, I'm Alan Lester, KEPR Action News.
KEPR's Alan Lester, thank you. We also reached out to Congressman Newhouse's office about the governor's proposal to meet, but have yet to hear back. We'll let you know when he responds. Meanwhile, we chatted with the governor to discuss Washington's new fiscal shortfall to get his reaction on that.
It's not great news, to put it mildly. It's not exactly a shock, given what's going on nationally and with our economy and the impact on tariffs on a state like Washington, which is very trade dependent. And so we're asking state agencies to look at cuts they can make, as difficult as those may be. What cuts, what savings can we achieve to balance out this budget? Because one thing we have to do as a state is adopt a balanced budget.
The Washington State Economic and Revenue Forecast Council is projecting state revenue over the next 4 years to be more than $700 million less than the legislature assumed would be generated. This comes following the passing of more than $9 billion in new taxes from the state budget back in May. Ferguson says additional revenue forecasts in September and November will play a pivotal role in how the new budget will be crafted next year. Switching gears this morning, for those needing to fill up their tank before getting out the door this weekend, what can they expect at the pump? Well, for Yakumites, gas prices have gone up since last year, costing locals 12 cents more than they do today. The price now sitting at $4.15 a gallon, about 1 cent more than it was a week ago. For folks in the Tri-Cities, it's costing slightly more now than it did a year ago. Today's price, $4.22 a gallon, 3 cents more than a year ago, 4 cents more than last week. As for Walla Walla residents, they're paying the highest prices locally. It now costs about $4.39 a gallon, up 4 cents from last week. Washingtonians, though, are still paying the third highest gas prices in the country, only behind California and Hawaii, on average $4.44 a gallon. The Hartman Center is continuing its mission to keep seniors active and happy. Seniors, caregivers, and community members gathered yesterday at the Center for Active Aging 2025 Expo. More than 300 people were at the annual event, where they were able to visit with 50 vendors that included local organizations, healthcare providers, senior services, and community groups. There were educational sessions throughout the day. Guests also had the opportunity to learn about housing options, wellness resources, medical equipment, and more, all tailored to the needs of older adults in the Yakima area.
It's extremely important for our senior community to be able to come into one area and not only to talk face-to-face with our different vendors that are available in the area, but it's also good for them to socialize and to see what is available, because a lot of times seniors don't even realize what is all available to them in the Yakima area because they tend to go to the same place every day.
Now, the event also included a free barbecue lunch and raffle prizes. The folks at the Hartman Center are now gearing up for their upcoming cornhole and ping pong tournaments as the summer rolls on. If you're looking to do something this weekend, we've got you covered there. It's movies in the park night tonight in Benton City. Head over to the city's community park to enjoy the free showing of Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest. Locals are encouraged to come early, grab a spot, bring their own blankets, chairs, and snacks. All children must be accompanied by an adult, and the movie night starts at 7, goes until 10. Heading over to Yakima every weekend from now until July 7th, locals can pick their own cherries at Barrett Orchards. You can bring your own bucket or bag, but there will also be some available for purchase. Leash dogs are allowed in the picnic area, where there will be food, drinks, and souvenirs. Cherry picking starts at 10 a.m. and goes until 3. There is a $5 parking fee, though. And in Walla Walla, folks can get out to the downtown farmers market. It starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. and ends at 1. Locals can enjoy fresh produce, handcrafted artisan goods, delicious food, and live music. Just head over to 106 West Main Street for that gathering. The annual Cool Desert Nights Cruise and Car Show returns to Richland tonight, bringing out cool cars and local vendors. This is the 31st year of the event, hosted by the Richland Chamber of Commerce these days. It brings out hundreds of cars each year. It also continues to grow. For the first time ever, though, there will be a beer garden.
It's fun to get out there and talk to people and hear all the hours that goes into their car or the history behind it. A lot of people do a car in memory of somebody or as a tribute, so those are really fun to see.
The cruise starts at 6 p.m. tonight and runs between Knight Street and Williams Boulevard on George Washington Way. The car show starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. In addition, there will also be the Kiwanis Pancake Feed tomorrow, which runs from 7 to 11 a.m. at Jefferson Park. Kennewick will soon open its first public dog park at Columbia Park. The expected opening date was supposed to be at the end of June, but due to some irrigation issues, it will take until the end of summer to finish. City leaders plan to announce the date once the project is complete and hope to invite the community for their grand opening. And speaking of dogs, a Yakima police canine is now better protected thanks to a national charity organization. Check out Router with his new body armor and vest. The vest was provided by Vested Interest in Canines Incorporated. It's a charity whose goal is to provide stab and bullet protective vests for dogs serving alongside law enforcement officers. The organization has provided more than 6,000 vests to canines across the nation. As for Router, he's really happy to have his new vest, and we certainly hope he stays safe out there on patrol. So thank you for watching this episode of Keeper Quick. For more local news and weather, you can head over to our websites, keeperandkimatv.com, as well as our Facebook pages. But while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our latest mini newscasts Monday through Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.